You had these skills, but now one suspects that he'll be more ready than, or at least take you more seriously than Fury, right?
I think for Ngannou going forward, he's going to have more than what he showed against Fury.
And he does, he will.
No,
that's the problem.
This is I would assume that you get better having done it. We're going to see an even better Francis, but that's not always how it works.
He's seen people like me, I've seen people like him many a times before, but it's just his mind that I'd have to conquer in the ring. You have to take someone's soul, you have to take their spirit, and I'm looking forward to the challenge for sure.
Did you hear that? He's going to take his soul. I like the attitude of Joshua at the moment, extraordinarily businesslike.
Well, AJ summed it up first. You've got to break his soul and break his will, but you do that with force and speed.
The Predator!
Boasting aircraft carrier shoulders and a tree trunk neck, Ngannou is built for destruction. His anvil-like jaw is adept at soaking up bombs too.
There's just this possibility that you can hit Francis as hard as you want, and he's still there, and he's hitting you just as hard back.
While Fury's size and style can wear down even the most resilient characters, Anthony Joshua's 89% KO ratio means the shots will land with even more impact than usual.
He punches precise, he's accurate, he doesn't fall over the front foot. When he throws a jab, he properly throws the jab.
You don't get the same kind of game, you don't really get the same kind of feints from Anthony Joshua. You know, there are lots of things that Joshua does very well, but he's not the same kind of problem, in my opinion, that Tyson Fury is.
The one thing that we have to look out for, there's several things, but if there were only one, it would be that powerful right hand, of course.
Throw in a gold medal winning amateur pedigree and 160 professional rounds across 11 years, and AJ is schooled in the art of making his blows count.
The guy who was sitting on that dais in Saudi Arabia in August of 2022, you were very emotional, and it was really hard to see you in that state, truthfully. Could he have ever imagined that you would be able to turn things around like this?
Hand on my heart, I did, because you know when you study the history of boxing, it's always got peaks and troughs, highs and lows.
I don't think he'll blast him out, but I think he'll deal with him as a leading heavyweight should deal with a potential novice. Yeah.
Absorbing shots from UFC fighters with alternative stances is one thing. Taking shots from a well-schooled, heavy-handed heavyweight finisher molded in the boxing business is another.
There's going to be a big year ahead for AJ, but he's got to get past Ngannou, and Ngannou brings all the power, as we know.
An easy fight for Joshua. Easy.
Why?
It's an easy fight for Joshua.
It's going to be a better, more manageable fight for Francis Ngannou because of the way Anthony Joshua approaches fights. Anthony Joshua does not want to get knocked out.
This is AJ Ngannou. This is Face Off.
Perfect. Thank you.
When you said you left the UFC to have the biggest fights, with the biggest paydays, the biggest purses, on the biggest stage, it doesn't get much bigger than this, does it?
I've never seen anything, been involved in anything like this in boxing. This is just brilliant. If you're a boxing fan, you're in boxing heaven.
Yeah, I used to dream about it.
Much of Joshua's success starts from his 82-inch reach and dependable left jab. Standing 2 inches shorter, Ngannou's long arms and natural power spells danger. His size, awkwardness, and tough demeanor play havoc by taking away Fury's own unorthodox advantages.
And then, of course, the psychological impact of, my goodness, this guy hits really hard. Then you clinch up with him and he's incredibly strong as well. There are a couple of different moments in these opening rounds where AJ could really start to panic.
It's a hard fight for Joshua again. Francis Ngannou is one of them immovable objects.
But I think Ngannou could fight anyway. You know what I'm saying? I think Joshua can't take him lightly.
So it's going to be a hell of a fight. What's a better fight than two guys with one punch knockout power? Can't get any better.
Displaying good footwork and shot selection, Ngannou's legs will need to be rock solid if he samples a flush connecting right hand. Conversely, any unconventional shots Ngannou manages to land high on the head could discombobulate Joshua.
It's a big year, 2024, for Joshua, but accidents happen, heavyweight boxing. We all saw what happened with Andy Ruiz Jr. in the Garden.
If you look at the Fury knockdown, he waited for Fury to throw, and he threw with him. And that's what Andy Ruiz did when he was hurt. You've got to be on point at all times against this guy.
We've seen him in big moments. We've seen him in big moments, big fights, and he sees him in adversity. He changes.
One well-placed sense scrambler, and suddenly another Saudi circus ensues.
There's that X factor that Ngannou has, that Deontay Wilder has, that no one else has, where it's like, you're going to have a moment there where it's do or die, and AJ, we've only seen one time where that's happened against Andy Ruiz, and he didn't choose to do, did he?
Andy Ruiz is a way better boxer. It's a big difference.
So
Andy
no one
Ruiz
wants
has
it.
100 amateur fights. People would see it, just like people want to see Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor.
He beat the holy hell out of Joshua. I want to say he put Joshua down 4 times. And then they go fight again, and it wasn't even the same Ruiz. You couldn't even recognize him.
The thing about Francis Ngannou is, I think even with big gloves, you can't let him hit you like that.
Simplicity is the name of the game. By sticking to the basics, Ngannou's strength and fitness allowed him to shine against Fury, flooring